Hello everyone, so today I'm going to be looking at Star Raiders, one of the very early space games. This came out sort of the same year as Asteroids and Starhawk, but more complicated obviously than either of those. It's generally regarded as the start of the first-person shooter genre as well. So less of me, and I'll hit start and get into it. So it starts you on a novice level. Basic screen at the bottom, you've got your starfield travelling forwards. Knowing my luck, one of those asteroids will crash into me while I'm explaining this. V is your velocity, K is your number of kills, E is your remaining energy, which as you can see is decreasing all the time. Oh, I've forgotten what T does. I think T is the number of targets in your present location. The two values here are where you're travelling, I believe, relative to your current target, which is the closest enemy or space station, and that was close. R is your range to said target. I used to play this a lot with friends. Essentially, me knowing all the controls, I would handle the keyboard and controls, and they could just run around and shoot stuff. You have various keyboard controls, so 0 stops your ship, 1 to 9 is your speed, 6 is generally a good cruising speed, 7 I believe is the same speed as the enemies more or less, and 9 is as fast as you can go, but as you can see the energy drops very rapidly. I believe 6 was about my normal cruising speed, which is where it sort of started. You were slow enough that the enemies stayed with you, but you could still sort of gain some ground on them. I'll stop just so I don't crash into something. You've got long range scan, which will show you anything in your vicinity. That's an asteroid. Any enemies. You can use a joystick and move around on the screen. F resets you to your forward view. It gives you what's wrong if you hit the wrong key. A is your aft view. You'll notice if you keep hitting the view, the stars move around. It was just how it was programmed in those days. This is obviously very complicated for 1979. If you turn towards something, it's not quite proper 3D, so if something's on the screen, it's now heading for me, which obviously I'm stopped. I'll turn so it doesn't hit me, but of course if it was heading towards me it would hit me anyway. Right. The keys that my friends usually didn't know. C turns on your computer targeting system. S raises your shields. T turns on computer tracking, which means if an enemy goes behind you, it will automatically switch to aft view. Some people turn that on, I used to have it on. It can make the game a bit confusing. G is your galactic chart. Now, the idea of this game is all these are enemies except the star ones, which is a star base. This is a square with 2 enemies in it. This is a square with 3 enemies in it. This is a square with 4 enemies in it. What they are trying to do is every so often these guys will move, and they're trying to surround the starbase. Once they surround the starbase, you have to get there quickly or else they will destroy it. Their objective is to destroy all of the starbases on the map. Your objective is to destroy all of them. On the screen you've got your damage control, which will indicate when any of your systems are damaged or destroyed. P is for photons, which is your weapon. E is for energy, your energy will start draining. S is your shields, which will make your shields intermittent. C stuffs up your computer. L stuffs up your long range scan. And I can't remember what R does. I would probably find it on a higher difficulty. So F to return to forward view, and G to go to galactic chart. That starbase is getting surrounded, so I should probably do something about it. So you select where you want to go, return to forward view, and hit H. On higher difficulties, you've got to keep that blue cross centered in the green cross. I will select speed 6. That little cross in the bottom right is whether you have a target lock on your enemy, which if you have one and you hit it, both of your photons will fire at once and it will aim generally in the direction of the enemy. Or you can sit there and just hit fire as quickly as you can. For all of you looking for high frame rates, you'll notice when there's lots of explosion on the screen, your frame rate drops quite significantly. Well, what do you want out of a computer that has about 1 megahertz? And so you just go from place to place. And destroy the enemies. I won't move forward. This seems a bit more primitive if you're not accelerating. Let's just move along a little bit. Lots of things on the screen and it gets hard to move. I'll show you the starbase. So if we just move to the next screen over, turn to forward view, H for hyperspace. And the idea with the starbase is you have to have the 3 windows on either side of the starbase showing, so I have to move forward a little bit. The starbase you'll always see as a flashing thing on the screen, and if you see the targeting in the right hand corner, you've just got to navigate towards it. I'll just move forward a little slower. You go too fast and the starbase goes off your screen very quickly. When you've established orbit, this little guy comes out when you're close enough and he will refuel you. If your starbase is under attack, you'll have enemies on this screen. And just if you're interested, yes, you can destroy the starbase, but of course that doesn't help your cause, that helps your enemy. Now on the screen you can see how many targets are in each square, although that's kind of obvious, it's indicated by the graphic. You can also see the warp energy required to get to each spot, and the current stardate, which is just ticking along as the game goes by. Now, if you're on any screen in the game, you can hit H for hyperwarp, you can drop your shields, you can turn your attack, all the keys are available no matter what screen you're on. But if you hit hyperspace and you're not on the forward screen, you can end up anywhere randomly on the map. So now I'm over here, yet I was aiming for over there. So you've got to be on the forward screen when that hyperwarp completes. And of course the greater distance that you've gone, the more warp energy this can use. So the game finishes if you get destroyed, if all of your star bases get destroyed, or if you run out of energy. On higher difficulties, your shields don't always hold. So you can be damaged whether your shields are up or down. Of course, if your shields are down, then you're going to get destroyed. It's interesting how you can sometimes catch enemies on the outside of the crosses and just in the path of the photon torpedoes if they're close enough, where you probably wouldn't think you'd be able to. If I switch to the long range scan, you'll see where the other enemies are on the screen. And you can shoot from here, but you're not very likely to actually hit them. And as you can see, your photons also appear on that screen. Now, they're not very good at shooting me either. If I just cruise along. There we go. Now if I drop the shields and head towards an asteroid, and you get a lovely message when you're finished. It says Star Cruiser 7, which is you, has been destroyed by Xylons, which is your enemy, and I'm a garbage cow captain. Woohoo! It'll give you a ranking at the end of the game based on how much energy you've used, how much time you've taken, how many enemies you've destroyed. When you're at the start of the game, you can hit select and it will change you to pilot, warrior or commander, I think is the next, yep, commander difficulty, or back to novice. Yeah, as I say, I've clocked many hours on this game, and for a game from 1979, I mean, this is incredibly well thought out. Great, well, doesn't show it on here, but this was actually pretty, you can imagine in the time of asteroids and very simple games, this was actually quite well thought out, complicated, good graphics. It was basically the defining game of the systems, which were the 400 and 800 at the time, completely backwards compatible with the later systems. So yeah, this is Star Raiders.